Analysis of football betting tips apps on Google Play. Results in April 2019. Sixth video. Dear friends, this is the sixth video in our analyze of mobile apps that can be accessed free of charge from Google Play and which recommend bettors for specific betting tips. We will show you in this video the results of our selected and closely tracked 18 apps that seem to be the most interesting for us to use by bettors or people who want to get rich with the tips from these apps. Please take a look at the previous videos from our YouTube channel named Analyzing Football Betting Tips app on Google Play to find out our detailed analysis in January, February, and March. At the beginning of 2019, we started to analyze about 30 applications that were the most downloaded and with very good user ratings. Thus, you also find out in our previous videos which applications we have already excluded from the next analysis, either because of the significant unprofitability or because of their fraudulent behavior. Our main question in this channel is: are the recommended tips in these applications really profitable? The answer to this question will be the most extensive in this video. We specifically chose these characteristics: real profitability, ROI, return of investment, winning percentage, average odd, equity curve. You can find a detailed explanation of all these characteristics in our second video in this channel. So let's now look at how each of the applications analyzed succeeded in April in these characteristics. Application BetPredict, betting predictions tips, has these characteristics: profit 8.96, return of investment 3.6%, winning percentage 49.8%, average odd 2.54. Application Tipstero betting tips football has these characteristics: lost -3.51, return of investment -2.5%, winning percentage 73.6%, average odd 1.34. Application Betting tips VIP daily predictions has these characteristics: profit 11.3, return of investment 2.9%, winning percentage 76.5%, average odd 1.35. Application Winner expert betting tips has these characteristics: profit 0.08, return of investment 0.1%, winning percentage 78.8%, average odd 1.28. Application Betting tips BetSoft has these characteristics: lost -11.8, return of investment -7.7%, winning percentage 67.3%, average odd 1.42. Application Expert betting tips has these characteristics: lost -1.37, return of investment -0.7%, winning percentage 67.3%, average odd 1.42. Application One betting tips has these characteristics: lost -7.28, return of investment -4.7%, winning percentage 68.4%, average odd 1.43. Application 100% trust betting tips has these characteristics: lost -2.87, return of investment -2.0%, winning percentage 71.2%, average odd 1.4. Application Betting tips 100% win has these characteristics: lost -2.05, return of investment -1.7%, Winning percentage 72.2%. Average odd 1.39. Application. Both team to score predictions foot has these characteristics. Lost -28.77. Return of investment -23.6%. Winning percentage 54.9%. Average odd 1.79. Application. Over under 2.5 tips predictions foot has these characteristics. Lost -6.47. Return of investment -5.3%. Winning percentage 79.5%. Average odd 1.35. Application. HTFD free bets fixed matches has these characteristics. Lost -24.98. Return of investment -21.4%. Winning percentage 61.5%. Average odd 1.81. Here you can see the terrible loss results of all three applications that DILYBET manages, but the same bad results are repeated for all 4 months of our analysis, which you will see more precisely in this video. For this reason, we do not strongly recommend them for your betting, and we have decided to exclude these three applications from our analysis for May. Application. Sure Max Bet Tips has these characteristics. Profit 4.81. Return of investment 5.2%. Winning percentage 75.0%. Average odd 1.39. Application. Talent Betting Tips High Odds has these characteristics. Lost -12.03. Return of investment -15.0%. Winning percentage 50.0%. Average odd 1.72. Application. Winning 2+ odds has these characteristics. Profit 2.95. Return of investment 5.1%. Winning percentage 72.4%. Average odd 1.45. Application. Free Alpha Betting Tips has these characteristics. Profit 0.57. Return of investment 0.3%. Winning percentage 62.6%. Average odd 1.67. Application. Predictive Betting Tips has these characteristics. Lost -10.44. Return of investment -3.3%. Winning percentage 70.3%. Average odd 1.37. Application. Tips by Zidane High Trust Tips has these characteristics. Lost -6.4. Return of investment -7.6%. Winning percentage 60.7%. Average odd 1.57. The previous summary of results of all analyzed applications showed us that only the following applications were profitable in April 2019. Here we can see a little sad thing that only the following 6 applications were profitable in April 2019. The profit of the 3 apps, namely Betting Tips VIP, Bet Predict Betting, and Sure Max Bet Tips, was relatively nice, but from the equity curve of ABS Bet Predict Betting you can see that it was in loss a lot of days, but the last 2 days were profitable. It has one highly profitable odd with the winning rate 15.0, which turns its loss to the final profit. The nicest equity curve has application winning 2+ odds, which has only small drawdowns. Finally, let's look at the results of the 18 applications analyzed in February, March and April in common, and 13 of them in January additionally. Application Bet Predict. Betting predictions tips ended with a big loss both in February and March and big profit in April, so it has a big loss after 3 months. Its equity curve is not very nice, but the average odd is very high. Application tips. Tarot betting tips. Football ended with a very small loss in February, a small profit in March and small loss in April, so it is in very small loss after 3 months and its equity curve is very volatile. Its small average odd shows that offered tips are not very sophisticated. Application daily betting tips. Betting tips VIP ended with a big loss both in February and March, but with a big profit in April, so it has a very big loss after 3 months. Its equity curve is very descending. Its small average odd shows that offered tips are not very sophisticated. Application winner. Expert betting ended with a small loss in February, a very small loss in March and a very small profit in April, so it is in a small loss after 3 months. Its equity curve is descending with some positive oscillations. Its small average odd shows that offered tips are not very sophisticated. Application betting tips. BetSoft ended with a small profit in February and a big losses in March and in April, so it is in a very big loss after 3 months. Its equity curve is descending last 2 months. Its small average odd shows that offered tips are not very sophisticated. Application expert betting tips ended with a small profit in January, with a big loss in February and a small losses in March and in April, so it is in big loss after 4 months. Its equity curve is globally descending but with many oscillations. Its average odd shows that offered tips are not usually very sophisticated. Application 1 betting tips ended with a big loss in January, with a small profit in February and a big losses in March and April, so it is in very big loss after 4 months. Its equity curve is not nice, as it is quickly descending. Its average odd shows that offered tips are not usually very sophisticated. Application 100% trust betting tips ended with a very small profit in January, with a loss in February, a big loss in March and with a small loss in April, so it is in very big loss after 4 months. Its equity curve is not nice, as it is quickly descending. Its average odd shows that offered tips are not usually very sophisticated. Application betting tips -100% win ended with a small loss in January, with a big loss in February and March, and with a small loss in April, so it is in very big loss after 4 months. Its equity curve is terrible, as it is quickly descending all 4 months. Its average odd shows that offered tips are not very sophisticated. Application both team to score predictions. Foot ended with a very big losses in all months, so it is in extremely big loss after 4 months. Its equity curve is very terrible, as it is very quickly descending all 4 months. Application over under 2.5 tips predictions. Foot ended with a very big profit in January, with a big loss in February, a very small profit in March and a big loss in April, so it is in small loss after 4 months. Its equity curve is very volatile. Application HTFD free bets fixed matches. Foot ended with a very small profit in January, with extremely big losses in February, March and April, so it is in extremely big loss after 4 months. Its equity curve is very terrible, as it is very quickly descending all 4 months. Application SureMax bet ended with a loss in January, with a small loss in February and March and a profit in April, so it is in loss after 4 months. Its equity curve is very volatile and the average odd shows that offered tips are not very sophisticated. Application talent betting tips. High odds ended with a big profit in January, with a small loss in February and a big losses in March and April, so it is in big loss after 4 months. Its offered tips are usually interesting, as average odd shows, but we can see that from the middle of February its equity curve is quickly descending. Application winning 2+ odds ended with a very small loss in January, with a big loss in February, a very small loss in March and a small profit in April, so it is in big loss after 4 months. Its equity curve was descending more than 2 months, but last 2 months is volatile. Application free alpha betting tips ended with a big profit in January, with a loss in February and a very small profits in March and April, so it is in profit after 4 months. Its offered tips are usually interesting, but its equity curve is very volatile all the time. Application predictor betting tips ended with a very big profit in January, with a small loss in February and a big losses in March and April, so it is in loss after 4 months. This application was the best in January, but then its equity curve was changed to descending. The average odd shows that offered tips are not very sophisticated. Application tips buys are down ended with a loss in January, with a profit in February and a loss in March and April, so it is in a big loss after 4 months. Its offered tips are usually interesting, but its equity curve is very volatile all the time. We've come to the end of the 6th video in results of analyzed applications in April 2019, and you can look forward to next video in this YouTube channel on their results in May 2019.